Okay, today we will be interviewing Miss Lillie Hunter. She's been a long-time resident in the city of East Cleveland. Today's date is December 19th, 2012. Thank you, Miss Hunter, for agreeing to an interview with us uh, with the Social Justice Institute of Case Western Reserve University.
You're welcome.
Okay, could you tell me a little bit about your family history, and you know, and maybe what brought you to the city of East Cleveland?
Oh, let me start off. I have 5 siblings. I'm the third of those 5. And what brought me to East Cleveland was I was purchasing some property, and this was the best house. All the other homes that I looked at when I was beginning to purchase was not good, up to my standards. But this house was real nice, and I've been in East Cleveland a lot. I had friends in East Cleveland a lot, so I just figure, what's wrong with East Cleveland? Let me try it, because I've always been in Cleveland. So I just tried it, and I
And how,
like it.
and how many years ago was that?
25, 25 years ago. I can remember because of my son. He's 27, and he was about 2 years old when I moved here in East Cleveland.
Tell me, why did you choose East Cleveland and compare to some of the other communities around here?
Well, because I felt that East Cleveland was a good area to move in at that time. Um, and as I said, because of the house. And when I eventually moved in, the street, it was real quiet. The children were growing up. My children were growing up. And, everybody was almost like a community, neighbors. And
Okay, do your siblings live in East Cleveland also?
no, my siblings, they're out of town. They
Oh,
live in other states. My daughter, she's in Atlanta. And my son is in Fairborn, Ohio.
mm,
hmm Living is a little different now than it was back in the day as when they were growing up. You grow and you go.
yeah.
You know. hmm
They did go to the East Cleveland school system.
No, they didn't.
Oh,
No, my daughter went to a private school, and my son, he started off at a private school, but he ended up in Cleveland Public School.
how did you feel about the school system in East Cleveland?
I don't know because
You
I
know,
didn't have any children going there. Well, wait a minute. My son did start off in the 7th grade. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. My son went to school in East Cleveland, excuse me. Yeah, because, he went to a private school. He wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing, so I pulled him out. And he did go to Chambers. Now, Chambers was a very good school at that time. Very good. It's good now, they say. But Chambers was a good school. And then he went from Chambers to Kirk. Kirk wasn't too good for him. Wasn't good for him. And he failed the 7th grade. And I just took him out of East Cleveland schools, and I put him in Cleveland schools.
so, what kind of community did you feel that East Cleveland was when you first moved in?
I felt East Cleveland was a safe community. Um, I didn't know nothing about the entire East Cleveland, just Milan. And just like I said, the kids grew up together, the kids played together, and I mean, I just felt safe. I didn't have any problems with this street here. Right.
Can you think back to your earliest memories of East Cleveland and tell me what life was like then?
Well, my earliest memories of East Cleveland was when I was a young adult. I didn't live in East Cleveland. I had friends that lived in East Cleveland, and when we used to come to our friend's house, we're like, hey, you know, we gotta be we gotta drive real slow because you know the police in East Cleveland will pick you up. So, you know, we're gonna be cool till we get where we're going. You know, and that's why when I moved in East Cleveland, I felt safe because I knew at that time that I was growing up as a young adult when we used to come in East Cleveland, you know, there was no problems. I mean, there's problems everywhere, but, you know, I felt safe at that time, too. You know, creeping down the street, don't drive fast, you know. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember those
Yeah,
days.
yeah. I mean, it was. I be used to ask my people. I said, "How y'all live out here? You know, come on down here with us." You know, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I felt safe then, and when I moved, when I brought the house here on my land, I felt safe too. Mm-hmm.
So there has been some changes. What do you feel about the changes as far as the safety in the city is at this point?
Well, it's scary, but I don't know. I don't feel as safe. The only way I do feel safe is because of my neighbors. You know, they look out for me. We look out for each other, you know, and all except at a certain time of night. Now, if y'all late at night, you might be on your own, but during the daytime and in the evenings, you know, they're sitting out on the porch, they're watching what's going on, and if it's something's not right, they'll let you know. So I feel safe on that tip. As far as, you know, the police concerned, you know, I haven't had too many problems where I had to call the police, but the times I did call, they did come. But it's just different. It's different because of the, you know, the people. Because when I first moved in, just about everybody owned their own home. You know, it was a few renters, but now it's majority renters. And you know, people they move in 1 month, 2 months down the road they're gone. You know, like gypsies, they in and they're out. They don't want to pay rent and they get put out. You know, they tearing up their. You know, you can tell the difference between the homeowners and the renters. You know, so that's a real downfall right there, but it's everywhere.
How does that make you feel as far as being a property owner in the city?
Well, we shouldn't even touch that issue. It doesn't make you feel good because you know you're trying to maintain your property, and your people that might be renting next door to you. You know they're not maintaining theirs. But I never had that problem. You know, but now being a homeowner, it's not like who's living next to you because majority of the time with this foreclosures going on, all these condemned houses and people just breaking into the houses and destroying the homes and everything like that. Now when you have a home like that sitting next to yours, that's terrible. That's very terrible.
Do you have one like that next to you now?
Oh yes, I do. I have a home next to me that's getting ready to fall down any second, and I've been trying to get help for the last 2 years to get it, you know, torn down, and I'm having a problem with it, a real serious problem. You know, but I'm trying to work with the people in East Cleveland, but they are basically just giving me the runaround, you know. So I'm getting ready to do something a little different. I went to the proper channels. I went to the councilwoman, Miss Lewis, and she did what she had to do. She had me talk with her assistant. He typed up all the information, the complaint. He sent it to the mayor's office because I have the letter that he sent to the mayor's office, and they were supposed to have been meeting on it. So I'm thinking everything was all right. Okay, when the summer came, the following summer came, I'm calling to see where was my house on the demolition list. They told me they didn't even have anything for me. So I said, okay. So I'm the vice president of the street club, so we were having meetings, and the mayor was there, and his assistants and his people was there. We walked up and down the street. I showed him the house. Oh yeah, this house has to come down, you know. So yeah, it really should. That was a year ago. That was a year ago, and I've been trying to get in contact with them. So finally, I just took pictures of the house. I took it over there, talked with the people. They said, well, we're going to put you on the list. We're going to put you on the list. A guy even called me Mr. Smedley called me and told me that they were going to put me on the emergency demolition list. And this was October 31st. And November 31st came, nobody called me. I mean, they could have even called me and told me, well, they're not going to postpone it, but, we have another date for you. Nobody ever called. So when I finally went up there, right about now today, they're still giving me the runaround. So, I don't know. I'll get some closure on it very soon because it's getting worse and worse. When we had that storm, when Sandy came through, when the rain, that really took the house down to another level. It tore, my mom, she's a dementia patient. She's 84 years old. She was walking up and down the driveway, to get some exercise where she couldn't because things was falling off the house. And I didn't want her to be injured. I can't even pull up in my driveway. I have to park on the street because I don't know when it might fall, and I don't want to be stuck in here. So
how long exactly have you been working on getting this house torn down?
at least 2 years.
Okay.
This is the second year.
What are your fondest memories of East Cleveland?
My fondest memories of East Cleveland, I'm telling you, when I was young, when I was coming over here, going to parties and different things like that. But no, I have some fond memories. When just to watch my children grow up in East Cleveland.
That's when things were, there's more homeowners and the streets were more family oriented.
Right, and you feel more safe. But I love the rapid though. I love me some rapid. The rapid is great, it can get you everywhere you want to go. You can walk to the rapids, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's one of the great assets.
Right,
of this area.
right, exactly.
Do you park down there and catch the rapids sometimes?
I walk.
Okay. Oh, you just walk down. Okay.
I don't do it every day, but when I do catch the rapid, I walk down.
In what ways has the city changed over time, and what do you think contributed to those changes?
It changed, like I said, about, the street was homeowners. Section 8 came out. Section 8 renters came out. That was one thing. And I'm not saying all of them, but that was one thing. I know the city lost a lot of funds and, monies was, how the monies disappear or monies was stolen, whatever you want, however you want to say it. And, the loss of the police force, that affected a lot of things. And then this foreclosure hit it, So, and not only here in East Cleveland, but, jobs. People lost their jobs. And they had no way to make it. So what did they start doing but breaking in, stealing, and different things like that. So, that'd take any city down.
What do you feel about the way the city government is run and has been run over the years you've been staying here?
I think it's all favoritism. Because in my situation, now they're tearing all these houses down, just like the house across the street where the tree fell on it. That house across the street where the tree fell on it is not as bad as the house that's next to me, But when I went and talked with the guy about it, the first thing he said, do you live next door to where the tree fell on the house? No. And I talked to him several times. I took pictures over there and showed to him. He should know where I live at, but I know he probably does a lot of things, but I went over there and talked to him. This is about my third time talking to him. So, and the way I look at it, it's a lot of favoritism. I didn't tell him I was the vice president because I wanted him to look at me as a resident, like everybody else, anybody else. But I think if you hold a title or they think something great about you, then whatever you come in here and ask for, you can get it. But that's not fair because you have people out here that need things, and just because you might not know them or know anything about them, they don't get nothing. They get the old back in the barrel. So to me, it's nothing but favoritism because I'm quite sure they can park in their driveway. They don't have no problems. I can't. And winter getting ready to come, so you're going to tell me I got to sit my car on the street all winter. So as far as I'm concerned, it's favoritism. And, I can't say it was always like that because I've never basically dealt with East Cleveland. I'm a Cleveland resident, so I always hang around in Cleveland now. But now I'm dealing with them more than I ever have for these 25 years. But in the way you see it, you be like, I don't even want no parts of that. It is sort of like make you, step back. I'm not going to step back right now because right about now, nobody's buying houses. It's not like I can sell and go. And I have to stay here and maintain. So that's what I'm going to do.
Have you been to any of the city council meetings?
A few, not many.
What do you think about those?
Same thing. I've only been to maybe 2 or 3.
I think they
But-
show it on TV.
Well, I don't have East Cleveland cable as well. Because I had it before, but on that channel, it seemed like they ain't do nothing but fight and argue and fuss. And I mean, Lord Jesus, I'm not looking at that, When I did have East Cleveland cable, everybody was jumping on each other. I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus, why did she say that? I was like, no, they didn't say that. It was just crazy. So I stopped watching that.
And these are your elected officials?
Yeah, exactly. That's who they show.
Okay, how has race impacted you personally, and how has it impacted the city of East Cleveland?
Race. I really, I can't say how race did it because majority black, right? Black officials. I don't know who run all the different departments, but everybody that I spoke with, they was African American, and I'm not saying everybody is, showing favoritism. I'm not saying all that, but I know it's being done, and I think it's being done to me. That's basically why I said that. And race it's sort of something hard to touch on living here in East Cleveland. If you haven't grown up in East Cleveland, because majority of everybody I talked to, they went to school in East Cleveland. They, my age, they went to Shaw and da. And they can tell me more about basically what's going on. And I just listen to those conversations because I don't know about going to the high schools out here or what's going on. We had, in the last 25 years, I know we had many mayors, and I think all the mayors that we had from my 25 years, they was African American. So I can't really speak on race and say, well, they prejudice here and, they doing that here. Honestly, I can't. Yeah, I can't.
Well, I think that East Cleveland is about 98% African American. What do you think about people moving into the city to make it more diverse?
That'd be great. Where would they move? They sure won't be coming down on this side. There's 2 sides of East Cleveland now,
Okay.
It's,
You want to tell me about the 2 sides?
well, I'm looking at it from maybe Euclid back, and back is coming, to Milan in these 1st, 2nd, or 3rd Street back. But Euclid up the hill.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a difference in the hill and the lower part of East Cleveland.
Right, exactly. With the streets, uh, with snow. You know, I guess they don't clean the streets no more. I imagine that's something that was cut out. I don't know if they're doing it up there or not. But snow plowing or getting the streets, because this street, I've never known this street to be, what's those things that be on the road, on the street, those brick things? I've never known them to be repaired.
Or the curve.
Yeah, the curb,
Yeah.
curb, and those curves. I've never known nothing like that. Well, and then when they do come out, they patch up the street. But how long do patches last? We never had a street paved here on Maitland. Never. For the last 25 years, let me say that.
But you think they get better services up on the hill? And when we talk about the hill, we're talking about like up Forest Hill,
Over
on
there,
the other side of Terrace.
all that. Up there where the mayor live, all where all the folks live, They can park in their own driveway. They don't care about whether or not I park in mine or not.
How has inequality impacted you personally, and how has it impacted the city of East Cleveland?
Quality for East Cleveland.
Inequality.
Inequality. Well, it hasn't impacted me at all. But, about others, but I don't think it has. I have no impact. But you look at different things. I guess they're trying, and I'm not. They are trying because they have different things that's going on in East Cleveland, and by me not being involved, I don't know. But like that building, the building of new homes on Hayden. That's beneficial because it makes the street it makes the street look better. When you pass by, you see homes and stuff instead of seeing vacant lots and stuff, like if that's what you're speaking about. That helps the quality of East Cleveland, I feel.
Well, I guess one of the things I'm talking about is when the county gets money, and they spend it in certain areas around here, do you feel like East Cleveland is getting its fair share of the finances that comes into Northeast Ohio?
Well, the couple of meetings that I went to when the mayor spoke about it, he was speaking about getting monies and the different things that he was going to do with the monies. So I don't know if they're getting their fair share of it, but I know they're getting some.
Some things are coming in this direction.
Yeah.
Can you recollect a memory or instance when the community fought for something?
Let me see. I don't even think they fight when election time is up. They fight hard, because everybody wants their man to win, whomever, running for office. But no, I can't say it was a time when I know the community stood together to make anything happen.
How do you feel about the fact that Cleveland Clinic closed down Huron Road Hospital?
Okay, thanks. You gotta help me out. Help me out, brother. I told you I'm a Cleveland person. You're right. They did. It was a fight. It was a good fight, but it was a good fight. But a lot of times when things is going on, when the community finally find out about it, the plan has been made, and they know what they're gonna do. And that's kind of hard when you have people fighting for something. It's been like you said, the hospital. Thanks a lot, but it's hard when you're fighting for something. You're fighting hard, and then regardless of the situation, they already crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's, and okay, your fight is over because they have done what they wanted to do. They're gonna and continue. And that's how it always is, you know. So, it's hard.
What do you think about the drug trade that was prevalent in the city for a while? Have you seen any changes lately?
Was a little, just a tad bit better because in the beginning of time when they were doing the drugs, they would like selling them in the streets, you know. Uh, Matter of fact, you couldn't even drive up and down the street because they was busy dealing, you know, drugs. And then when they uh, sort of changed their little image and they started, well, selling it out the houses, you know, and you know, like down here, we had an incident. I mean, a real serious incident that happened, and it really happened to the fact that you know I worked in my yard. I work in my yard, and you know I try to keep my house up, and you know my neighbors, you know, selling drugs, and a lot of people that was they were young people too. They were young boys, and a lot of them they didn't even live in East Cleveland. They was just visiting, and they figured this was a hot spot. And that's when a lot of people started moving off the streets and everything like that. So whenever there was a vacant house, that's where the drug people will, you know, linger and you know, sell their drugs. And I'm trying to figure out who was the mayor at this time. But he sort of did pretty good about cleaning up the drugs off the streets. Amwan, what was his name?
Anawa?
Yeah, he did pretty good about cleaning the drugs off the street. We had a neighbor that videoed the couple drug deals, and you know they were able to. They took the boys and locked them up, put them in jail. You know, so by that time, you know, they ain't had no money to get out of jail, so they took their little drug thing and they took it inside of the houses instead of being out on the street selling them. Yeah. Drugs are really rapid for a minute, but I'm quite sure they're still rapid, but they're not in the street as much as they were. It had been about 15 years ago. Mm-hmm.
Do you think that impacted the city in a really bad way? I mean, the changes that you think that's helping us now,
What about them selling on the inside?
or by it not being as prevalent as it was?
Because they still selling it. They still selling it. It's not. It's just, they just on
It's
the
not
inside.
gone. It's,
No,
yeah.
no. It's just not as visible as it was before.
Okay.
Because, like I said, the people when they from the renters' houses, like the people who come in, they know what they're gonna do. When they know they drug dealers, when they, you know, moved in, so they come in and they deal their drugs and they deal their drugs and they move out.
So it's still going on. It's just not as open
Right,
as it was.
right. Until they find out, oh, look at all these cars parked in front of this house. Look at this traffic rolling like that. Because you don't know who's moving next door to you. You know, you don't think a drug dealer moving next door to you at least. So, that's what it is. Drugs is going to be here forever.
Yeah, but do you think the city is doing its part to shut it down, or doing the best job that they can
They
do?
doing the best job that they can do. I say that. They doing the best job they, you know.
Okay, now, surrounding East Cleveland, there's quite a bit of institutions, Cleveland Clinic and University Hospital. How do you think these institutions impacts the city of East Cleveland?
Well, I would say by, I don't know, it's a possibility by being like hospitals, you know, that once they closed down here on Road Hospital, you know, Cleveland Clinic and the other hospitals, they had to take the people in. So that piece is beneficial. But anything else, I don't know how many clinics they might have set up in East Cleveland now. I know about the Stephanie Tubbs Jones area, but I don't know how many more they might have set up in East Cleveland, or where the people may go to the hospital in East Cleveland. I don't know, because I don't go to the hospital in East Cleveland.
Well, you know, as those kind of institutions grow, they appear to be kind of landlocked in that area. You think they might move in this direction, and if they do, would that be a help to the city?
It would. It definitely would be a help. It definitely can't hurt it. Just like when they took the trauma center and moved it way out, you know. You fought for that, but it still was gone. Yeah. It would help. It would definitely help. Anything they move in East Cleveland legally can help.
What is your vision for the future of East Cleveland? And tell me about the major issues that need addressing in order to better this community.
My vision for East Cleveland is having a safe community, a healthy community. You know, when I say healthy, you know, like they have in these community gardens, which I feel is great. You know, but what are they doing with with it? But, you know, in the education for our children, I vision that to be something that's will help the city of East Cleveland, because if we can educate our children, then maybe, you know, things will be better. You know, we can't just think we can just send our children into schools and they're going to do something, because we as parents are the first teachers. And if we cannot work with our children at home, you know, that's a problem. But the vision for me is safe communities, healthy communities, and the education of our children.
And what are you prepared to do to participate in making East Cleveland a better city?
Right about now, you know, whatever I can do. I'm trying to say I can help if I can, but right about now it's kind of difficult for me, because I'm involved in a lot of things, but not here in East Cleveland. Mostly in Cleveland. The only thing I'm involved in East Cleveland is, you know, the street club. Yeah, I participate in there. I go to meetings and you know, in the street club and stuff like that. But my everything I do basically is in Cleveland. You know, so I don't know what I can say I can do in East Cleveland to make it better, but, and I'm not saying I won't, but the time hasn't presented itself as of yet.
Okay. Well, is there anything that you would like to add to the interview?
Well, I'm just happy to live in East Cleveland. I like East Cleveland. You know, even though I don't participate in a lot of things, even though I don't know a lot of things that's going on, it's been good to me. You know, I haven't had any serious problems. You know, neighborly problems, that's one thing, but a serious problem I haven't had. So I do feel safe in East Cleveland. I do, I really do. It's not all bad, you know.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate your interview. And you have a good evening.
Well, you're welcome, and you have a happy holiday, sir.